In the heart of an ancient village called Umuaka, surrounded by thick forests, singing birds, and wide farmlands, lived a hardworking farmer named Obina. He was known across many villages for his strength, wisdom, and wealth. His barns were always full of yam, cassava, and maize. His goats were many, and his palm trees stretched across the hills like soldiers guarding treasure. But what made people speak most about Obina was not his wealth. It was his 7 wives. Each wife came from a different village and possessed a different character. Some people admired Obina, while others whispered that no man could ever know peace with 7 women under one roof. Yet Obina always smiled and said, "A man who plants many seeds must learn how to water each one differently." The first wife was Adiku, and mature. She managed the household and acted like a mother to everyone. The second wife, Ngozi, was beautiful and proud. She loved expensive wrappers and coral beads. The third wife, Ezin, was quiet and deeply spiritual. She believed the ancestors watched every action. The fourth wife, Amora, was cheerful and hardworking in the farms. The fifth wife, Chioma, loved gossip more than food. The sixth wife, Busy, came from a far western village and knew how to trade in markets. The youngest and 7th wife was Zora, a young woman with extraordinary beauty and kindness. At first, the compound was peaceful. Every evening, smoke rose from cooking fires while children ran around laughing. Drums echoed during moonlight dances, and neighbors envied the harmony in Obina's home. But peace rarely stays forever where jealousy lives. One market day, Obina returned home with expensive gifts from the city. He gave Adiku a wrapper, Ngozi golden earrings, and other small presents. But for Zora, he brought a shining necklace made from ivory and coral. The compound fell silent. Ngozi forced a smile, but her eyes burned with anger. That night, Chioma whispered to the others, "Have you noticed? Since Zara arrived, Obina no longer sees the rest of us." Ngozi replied bitterly, "Beauty has blinded him." Only Adiku remained silent. Days passed, and jealousy grew like weeds after rainfall. Whenever Zara entered a room, conversation stopped. Whenever Obina praised her cooking or kindness, the others frowned. Yet Zara never insulted anyone. She woke early, greeted everyone respectfully, and helped even those who mocked her. That kindness only made some of them hate her more. One planting season, Obina suddenly became sick. He could no longer stand properly. His body became weak, and strange nightmares haunted him every night. The village healer came and shook his head. This sickness did not come naturally. Fear spread across the compound. Ezin suspected spiritual attack. Ngozi blamed evil spirits from neighboring villages. But secretly, Chioma knew something others did not know. A few weeks earlier, Ngozi had visited an old woman deep in the forest. Chioma had followed her secretly and overheard the old woman say, "If you want the farmer's love to return to you alone, someone must suffer." Fear filled Chioma's heart, but she said nothing. As Obina grew weaker, many wives became afraid. Some avoided his room entirely. But Zora stayed beside him day and night. She fed him herbs, cleaned his body, and prayed for him. One midnight, while Zora fetched water from the stream, she met a mysterious old traveler. The old man looked at her carefully and asked, "Why do your eyes carry sorrow?" She explained everything. The old man nodded slowly. Your husband's sickness comes from betrayal inside his own house. But there is still hope. He handed her a small wooden charm. At sunrise, place this beneath his bed. The truth will reveal itself. Before Zara could ask more questions, the old man disappeared into the darkness. At sunrise, Zara secretly placed the charm beneath Obina's bed. Suddenly, loud thunder shook the compound though the sky was clear. One by one, the wives began feeling uneasy. Ngozi screamed as strange rashes appeared on her arms. Chioma fell to her knees crying. Even the chickens scattered wildly. Then Obina, who had been unable to stand for weeks, slowly sat upright. The village healer arrived immediately and shouted. The spirits demand confession. Chioma burst into tears first. Forgive me. Ngozi visited a witch doctor. She wanted Zara removed from the house. The compound exploded in shock. Ngozi trembled violently. I never meant to kill him, she cried. I only wanted his love again. Obina stared at her with pain in his eyes. Love forced by darkness becomes poison. The elders gathered beneath the ancient Iroko tree. In Umuaka, betrayal within a family was treated seriously. After many hours, the oldest elder spoke. Jealousy has brought shame into this household. But punishment without wisdom creates more darkness. Ngozi was ordered to leave the compound for one planting season to live in isolation and seek cleansing from the ancestors. Chioma was punished for hiding the truth. The other wives were warned never to allow envy to divide the family again. As for Zora, the villagers praised her loyalty and kindness. Even Adiko held her hands and said, "Your heart saved this family." Not long after peace returned, disaster struck the land. Rain stopped falling. Rivers dried. Crops withered beneath the hot sun. Hunger entered Umuaka like a thief. Families began eating once a day. Children cried at night. The village elders begged the gods through sacrifices, but no rain came. Obina gathered his wives. If we sit and wait for help, we shall perish. Together, they worked harder than ever before. Busy traveled to distant markets for food supplies. Amora dug new irrigation channels. Adiko rationed food wisely. Even Ngozi, after returning from exile humbled and changed, walked silently without complaint. For the first time, the 7 wives worked together as one family. One evening, Ezen revealed an ancient story. Long ago, our ancestors prayed on the sacred hill during droughts. Perhaps we must return there. The villagers climbed the hill carrying drums, kola nuts, and white cloth. All night they sang and prayed beneath the moon. At dawn, dark clouds gathered slowly above the village. Then rain began to fall. First softly, then heavily. Children danced in the mud while women laughed with joy. Obina lifted his hands toward the sky. A family divided brings suffering. A family united brings blessings. Years passed peacefully in Umuaka. Obina became old, his beard turning white like morning ash. His children grew into strong men and women. Travelers continued telling stories about the farmer with 7 wives. Some spoke about the jealousy. Others spoke about the famine. But most remembered how a divided household became united through hardship and forgiveness. Before Obina died, he gathered his wives and children beneath the mango tree. In a weak voice, he said, "Wealth is not goats or land. True wealth is the people who remain beside you when darkness comes." After his death, the 7 wives continued living together, caring for the farms and grandchildren. And for many generations, elders told the tale of Obina and his 7 wives beside evening fires while drums echoed through the African night.